A huge debate was set to go down at the Oxford Union, one of the world's most prestigious debating societies. The topic was a fiery one. The House believes that India's response to Pakistan is a populist strategy sold as security policy. It was meant to be a clash of titans, with prominent figures from both India and Pakistan ready to argue their cases. But just hours before it was supposed to happen, the whole thing collapsed into a massive controversy. A he said she said battle fought not in the debating hall, but on social media. What really happened? Was it a deliberate gambit, an organizational failure, or just a classic case of last-minute chaos? Today, we're diving deep into the story of the Oxford Union debate that never was, and the public fallout that followed. Let's set the stage. The Oxford Union has a long history of hosting world leaders and intellectual giants. Getting an invitation to speak there is a big deal. The motion itself was provocative, designed to spark a robust discussion on a very sensitive topic: the relationship between India and Pakistan. The Indian side was initially supposed to be represented by some very heavy hitters, including former Chief of Army Staff General M.M. Naravane and politician Dr. Subramanian Swamy. On the Pakistani side, the lineup included former Foreign Minister Hina Rabbani Kar and Defense Minister Khawija Muhammad Asif. It was billed as a major intellectual showdown. But then, the problem started. According to Indian lawyer Sai Deepak, who ended up being a key figure in this whole saga, the event was unstable from the get-go. He pointed out on X, formerly known as Twitter, that key leadership positions at the Oxford Union were held by individuals of Pakistani origin. He specifically named Musa Haraj as the union's president, alleging he is the son of Pakistan's Minister of Defense Production, and Raza Nazar as the treasurer. This raised early concerns for him about the neutrality of the event's organization. Then, just 2 days before the debate scheduled for November 27th, the Indian side hit a major snag. Both General Naravane and Dr. Swamy had to pull out, citing unavoidable commitments. This left the Indian team scrambling for replacements. It's tough to find high-profile speakers on such short notice, especially for a debate of this magnitude on an international stage. This is where Sai Deepak steps fully into the picture. Despite the chaos, he was ready and prepared to argue India's case. He worked quickly to assemble a new team from within the UK, bringing on board Manu Khajuria and Pundit Satish K. Sharma. They were all set to travel to Oxford and face the Pakistani delegation. The stage was set, the new team was in place, and the debate was back on. Or so it seemed. The final collapse happened mere hours before the debaters were supposed to take the floor. On the afternoon of November 27th, at precisely 3:13 p.m., Sai Deepak received a call. The news was shocking. The Pakistani delegation, including Hina Rabbani Kar and Khawija Asif, had not yet even landed in London. Hearing this, the Indian team, who were on their way, made the logical decision to turn back. Why travel all the way to Oxford for a debate if your opponents aren't even in the country? It seemed like the event was officially cancelled due to the Pakistani side's failure to show up. But the story takes another bizarre twist. Later, Sai Deepak claimed he received confirmation that the Pakistani delegation had, in fact, landed. Not only had they landed, but they were reportedly staying at a hotel right there in Oxford. This new information completely changed the narrative. If they were in Oxford, why was the Indian team told they hadn't landed? Why was the debate called off? This revelation led Sai Deepak to launch a blistering attack. He accused the Pakistani side of deserting the battlefield even before the battle begins. He suggested they lacked the courage to face a live, unscripted debate against the new Indian team. He didn't hold back, framing it as a deliberate move to avoid a direct confrontation. He also took aim at the Oxford Union's leadership, criticizing them for allowing the prestigious institution to be dragged in muck and, in his view, acting as a mouthpiece for the Pakistan High Commission. He felt the union had failed in its duty to ensure a fair and organized event. The public recriminations didn't stop there. Indian lawmaker Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Shiv Sena UBT party also weighed in on social media. She mocked the situation, tweeting, "Pakistan is crying again over an Oxford Union debate. This is for the record. Once again they have proved to be liars. Expecting any better from them was not even on my list." Her comments added political fuel to the fire, amplifying the narrative that the Pakistani side had intentionally dodged the debate. Now, let's look at the other side of the story. The Pakistan High Commission in London released a statement with a completely different version of events. Their press release painted a picture of the Indian side being the ones to back out. They regretted that the Indian delegation, referencing the original lineup of General Naravain, Dr. Swami, and even adding politician Sachin Pilot's name, had withdrawn at the last minute. According to their statement, this withdrawal handed a walkover to the Pakistani side. The High Commission's narrative framed the Indian withdrawal as a sign of weakness. They suggested that the Indian side lacked the confidence to defend India's security policy. In what they called a neutral and intellectually rigorous debate, they essentially flipped the accusation, claiming it was India that was unwilling to face scrutiny. This directly contradicted Sai Deepak's detailed timeline and his allegations of being misled. So, who do you believe? We have two completely conflicting accounts from the two sides involved. On one hand, Sai Deepak provides a detailed, minute-by-minute account of communication failures and what he calls a Pakistani gambit. He claims his team was ready to debate, traveled, and was only turned back based on false information about the Pakistani team's travel plans. On the other hand, the Pakistan High Commission claims the Indian side withdrew, implying a lack of willingness to engage. The role of the Oxford Union itself remains a critical and somewhat murky part of this story. Why was there such a communication breakdown? If the Pakistani delegation was indeed in Oxford, why was the Indian team told they hadn't landed? Was it a simple, albeit massive, organizational blunder by a student-run society? Or was there, as Sai Deepak alleges, a deliberate effort by a partisan leadership to sabotage the debate in favor of one side? The Union's statement on the matter has been conspicuously absent from the public feud, leaving many questions unanswered. Their silence has allowed both narratives to flourish, turning what should have been an intellectual exercise into a public relations battle. This incident highlights the immense challenges of organizing debates on such politically charged topics. The line between academic discourse and political maneuvering can become incredibly blurry. When national pride and geopolitical narratives are at stake, even a university debate can become a proxy battleground. The fallout from this cancelled debate shows just how sensitive the India-Pakistan relationship is, where even a procedural failure can be interpreted as a strategic victory or a cowardly retreat. In the end, the public was denied the opportunity to hear a structured debate on a crucial issue. Instead, they were left with a messy war of words on social media. Sai Deepak's account suggests a deliberate attempt by the Pakistani side to control the narrative and avoid a potentially difficult confrontation. The Pakistan High Commission statement paints a picture of an Indian side unwilling to defend its policies. The truth likely lies somewhere in the complex details of miscommunication, last-minute changes, and the intense pressure surrounding any India-Pakistan dialogue. What started as an opportunity for intellectual exchange at one of the world's most famous forums ended up as a farce, a public spectacle of accusations and counter-accusations. It's a stark reminder that in the world of high-stakes international relations, even the battlefield of ideas is fraught with conflict and controversy. The real loser here wasn't India or Pakistan. It was the principle of open and honest debate itself. What do you think happened? Was it a deliberate move, a massive screw-up, or a bit of both? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you found this breakdown interesting, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into complex current events. See you next time.